Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. This is the pre-show mantra. The show will start momentarily. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. Thereby, the more you earn, the more you learn. Wall Street, the stock market is a machine, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Let's get started, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. I'm your host, Matt Riches. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers family. This is a live market breakdown covering the $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and QQQ. We cover pre-market levels, opening bell moves, headlines that move the market or are associated with our $1 trillion stocks. We'll be looking at charts, checking out Bitcoin and Ethereum levels, sectors, and some motivation along the way. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into it. Before the bell, we had several top-tier earnings reports that matter for today. Taiwan Semiconductor reported strong results. EPS came in 3.14 versus an expected 2.9, and revenue was 33.73 billion versus an expected 33 billion. That's a beat on the top and bottom line, and the stock traded higher in the pre-market, providing a positive read for semiconductors and AI-linked names. Let me go ahead and pull up TSM on the chart since I just read that. Let me put it on the 1 minute chart so you can see how it moved during the pre-market. Okay, so there we are. It is above the all-time high in the pre-market. So we will open up in the all-time highs on TSM. Next company that had earnings was Goldman Sachs. Okay. It came in at 14.01 EPS versus an expected 11.77 EPS, which is a very solid beat. Revenue came in at 13.45 billion with an expected 13.61 billion. So there was a slight miss on revenue, but it did beat on earnings. So those are called a mixed report. And Morgan Stanley, they printed a Okay, I don't have all the information for Morgan Stanley. Let's go to the next one. BlackRock. BlackRock reported 13.6 EPS versus an expected 12.24. So they beat on earnings, and revenue came in at 7 billion versus a 6.75 billion expected. So BlackRock beat on the top and bottom. At 5:30, we did have some data come out. The jobless claims came out, 198,000 versus a forecasted 215,000, signaling a stronger than expected labor market. The Empire State Manufacturing Index printed 7.7 versus an expected 0.8, a very meaningful surprise upside, and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index came in at 12.6 versus an expected negative 1.6. So that is another major beat. Taken together, the macro data was clearly growth positive. And as you can see from SPX, give me 1 second. I did not show BlackRock on here. What is BlackRock's ticker symbol? Let's see. As you can see, with that BlackRock beat on the top and bottom, it had a very positive pre-market. And then we can check out SPX. As you can see, that thing is moving nice in the pre-market, y'all. So SPX and the NASDAQ 100 are both printing bullish momentum. It was even prior to the data that came out at 5:30, but it is also continuing because of the data that came out at 5:30. Give me 1 second, y'all. We will get into the market caps. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, now let's get into the market caps. All right, the most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA, $4.4 trillion market cap, followed by Google, $4 trillion market cap, Apple, $3.8 trillion, Microsoft, $3.4 trillion, Amazon, $2.5 trillion, TSM, $1.69 trillion, AVGO, $1.61 trillion, Meta, $1.55 trillion, Tesla, $1.46 trillion, and Berkshire.B, $1 trillion, y'all. All right, let's get into these pre-market levels. I think all the semis will have gapped up because of TSM. So we got NVIDIA pre-market low, 183.50, pre-market high, 186.64. Apple pre-market low, 259.55, pre-market high, 260.50. Google pre-market low, 336.49, pre-market high, 338.35. Microsoft pre-market low, 460, pre-market high, 463.21. Amazon pre-market low, 236.71, pre-market high, 240.29. TSM pre-market low, 335.01, pre-market high, 349.99. That is a big move in the pre-market for TSM, y'all. They may have saved January. All right, AVGO pre-market low, 340.79, pre-market high, 349.89. Meta pre-market low, 616.39, pre-market high, 619.32. Tesla pre-market low, 439.65, pre-market high, 441.97. Berkshire.B pre-market low, 491.70, pre-market high, 494.56. The VIX has been dropping since yesterday, y'all. Remember yesterday it hit a high of $18, $18.10. Right now the VIX is at 15.77. So a lot of volatility left the market from yesterday's highs. Okay, SPY pre-market low, 690.65, pre-market high, 694.48. QQQ pre-market low, 622.06, pre-market high, 626.94. SPX pre-market low, 6,930, pre-market high, 6,971. The NASDAQ 100 pre-market low 25,514, pre-market high 25,785, y'all. So while I read the news, if it's not a company that is on our $1 trillion ticker list, I will just put this display up here, which is our 8 most valuable companies in the world, and I will put them in order. Top left-hand corner is going to be NVIDIA. To the right side is Apple, followed by Google and Microsoft. And underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right side, followed by Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, Broadcom, and Meta Platforms. All right, let's get into our first piece of news here. All right, let me scroll down. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, so we went over the earnings already. There's no more. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, tomorrow State Street has earnings, but outside of that, we don't care about any of those other companies. Oh, so I thought this was interesting. Remember, we reported yesterday that Saks Global was filing for bankruptcy. So here's a update on that.
A U.S. bankruptcy judge on Wednesday granted initial approval of Saks Global's bankruptcy financing. It will allow the company to draw on $400 million in new cash, despite an objection from Saks' estranged business partner, Amazon.com. Saks' chief restructuring officer, Mark Weinstein, said during the hearing the company would be dead in the water without the new money, and plans to use it to pay vendors and the company's 17,000 employees. The luxury retail company filed for bankruptcy on Tuesday with $3.4 billion of debt. That's after its merger with Neiman Marcus caused cash shortfalls that prevented Saks from reliably replenishing inventory at its stores. Saks Global's attorney said stores remain open for business and that the firm has no concern about weakening customer demand. Before approving the bankruptcy loan, the judge overruled an objection by online retail giant Amazon. It had argued its $475 million equity investment in Saks would become worthless if the bankruptcy proceeds with the current financing arrangement. Amazon's attorney said at the hearing that it has little to no confidence Saks can successfully emerge from bankruptcy. Long loved by the rich and famous, Saks never fully recovered from the COVID pandemic as competition from online outlets rose.
Ooh, Amazon said, nah, man. We about to lose over $400 million. You gotta let them go out of business. They're like, nah, we need that bread, y'all. We need it. All right, here we are. Market open, market open, market open. Let's go. The market is open. January 15th, 2026. The market is open. Let's see how these stocks is moving, y'all. Let's check out our $1 trillion tickers. NVIDIA is up over 2%, 186.48. Apple is up 0.25% at 260.60. Google is down fractionally at 335.45. Microsoft is up almost 0.5% at 461. Amazon is up a little over 0.5% at 238. TSM is up over 4%, hit all-time highs, y'all. TSM is at 341.69, y'all. AVGO, they felt that push from TSM as well. AVGO is up almost 2% at 346. Meta is up 0.25% at 617.56. Tesla is up almost 1% at 443. Berkshire.B is down fractionally at 492.68. The VIX dropped a lot from yesterday. It's down 6%. The VIX is currently at 1573. SPY is up over 0.5% at 694.38. QQQ is up over 1% at 626.30. SPX is up over 0.5% at 6,970. The NAS 100 is up over 1% at 25,757. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index, y'all. The Fear and Greed Index. We are in greed, y'all. We are in greed. Fear and Greed Index is at 58. We are in greed, y'all. All right, let's get back to the news. This is from Dan Ives on Twitter. It says, TSM's blowout earnings and guidance, a huge barometer for the health of the AI revolution spending. A lot of bullish read thoughts for the tech space into Q4 earnings season over the next few weeks. So basically, TSM is leading the pack when it comes to the AI revolution as far as earnings. They were the first ones out of the AI big dogs to actually have earnings, and they had a phenomenal beat and guidance. So this AI revolution should be continuing, y'all. All right, this next piece of news comes from Wall Street Journal Business News. BlackRock's profit fell in the fourth quarter on higher expenses, and the world's largest money manager ended 2025 with more than 14 trillion in assets for the first time. 14 trillion, y'all. BlackRock's Q4 net income dropped 33% to 1.13 billion from higher expenses, but adjusted EPS, it was a beat, reflecting resilient core operations. Full year inflows reached 698 billion, fueling CEO Larry Fink's target of 400 billion in private markets fundraising by 2030 as investor confidence surges post 2025 stock rebound. I thought this was interesting. This is from Yahoo Finance. It says, why Trump is so interested in Greenland.
Greenland controls its mineral. It's really hard to tell how the geopolitics could play out. Right now, Greenland controls its mineral rights. Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, but it has the control over its mineral rights, what's sitting below the subsoil, right? So any oil, any critical minerals, as has been a focus, anything like that, Greenland has the right to. If there were to be a U.S. annexation or something like that, what would happen to those rights would be in question.
So basically, Trump thinks Greenland has oil, has mineral rights, has minerals. So we finna go get that. Trump is going big dog Greenland and go get it, just like he did Venezuela. So Trump basically is not trying to lose this, not trying to let America lose this number one superpower position in the world. And he doesn't mind going into other countries and taking over if that's what's necessary to remain the number one superpower in the world. All right, this next piece of news comes from Wall Street Journal Business News. Amazon.com is turning to an Arizona mine that last year became the first new source of U.S. copper in more than a decade to meet its data center's ravenous appetite for the metal. Amazon has secured a 2-year deal with Rio Tinto to purchase all initial output from Arizona's Johnson Camp mine, the first new U.S. copper source in over a decade, yielding 14,000 metric tons via innovative bioleaching technology that uses bacteria to extract metal from low-grade ore with reduced carbon emissions. This supply addresses surging copper demand for AWS data centers fueled by AI infrastructure, where a single facility can require tens of thousands of tons amid global pricing record highs above $6 per pound after a 41% rise in 2025. The partnership extends beyond purchase, with AWS providing cloud analytics to optimize mining recovery rates, highlighting tech's giant roles in advancing sustainable mineral extraction to avert potential U.S. shortages projected by S&P Global to reach 25% by 2040 due to AI-driven needs, y'all. Shout out Amazon for going to get what they need. And if they need to charge these other companies, they will do that because they just came up on a super plug for U.S. copper. All right, this next piece of news comes from Bar Chart. Talking about Netflix, y'all. It says Netflix is absolutely collapsing below its 200-day moving average, y'all. Let's check out Netflix on the chart. Let's check it out on a daily. Oh, y'all see that? Yeah, that is a tremendous drop, y'all. That is a tremendous drop. Let's see, from the all-time highs, which was June of last year, it is currently down 33%, y'all. And it is right about where it opened up on the day one of 2025. The first day the market opened in 2025, that's where Netflix is at right now. And it is down dramatically from the all-time high. Though I do like it for a long-term buy and hold, it is on major discount right now, y'all. All right, let's see. I thought this was interesting. Next piece of news here comes from Forbes. It says the proposed billionaire tax in California is a long way from actually becoming law, but that hasn't stopped some of the state's wealthiest from speaking out. In some cases, planning ahead. So if you don't know what that is, California's 2026 Billionaire Tax Act proposes a one-time 5% excise tax on net worth exceeding $1 billion, targeting about 200 residents with combined wealth over $2 trillion to raise $100 billion for state needs. Forbes estimates tech moguls like Larry Page, who would pay $13 billion in tax, and Mark Zuckerberg, who would pay $11 billion in tax, would bear the heaviest burdens, highlighting California's role as a hub for 186 billionaires worth $1.3 trillion in total. While the ballot initiative faces long odds for approval in November 2026, some ultra-wealthy individuals are already exploring relocations to states like Texas or Florida to avoid the tax, despite the state's enduring appeal for building fortunes. Yeah, so some of them said, man, we ain't finna pay you no $11 billion. Now, I don't know if Zuckerberg said that, but some of them said, man, we finna move out of state. You ain't finna just tax us that extra $5 billion. We already paying crazy taxes. You ain't finna just tax us that extra $5 billion, which is definitely understandable. Yeah, once I hit millionaire status, I might have to move out of California too, y'all. I ain't trying to be paying all these taxes. when I got that bag, when I could go somewhere and not have to pay it. Shout out Aristotle that moved to Puerto Rico to avoid the taxes. Shout out everybody that moved to Texas. Shout out Master Investor in Texas not paying them taxes. And shout out everybody in Florida that's not paying them taxes too. Alright, let's check out the sectors, y'all. Let's check out technology. That's XLK, y'all. XLK is up over 1.5% at 147.03. XLY, our consumer discretionary ETF, is up over 0.25% at 122.65. XLC, our communications ETF, is down over 0.25% at 116.36. XLF, our financial sector, is up over 0.5% at 54.43. XLV, our healthcare sector ETF, is down over 1% at 156.07. XLP, our consumer staples ETF, is down almost 0.5% at 81.86. XLE, our energy sector, is down over 1% at 47.56. XLU, our utilities ETF, is up over 0.5% at 43.38. XLI, that's the industrial sector, is up over 0.5% at 165.15. XLB, the materials ETF, is down almost 0.25% at 48.66. It did hit all-time highs as soon as the market opened. The all-time high was $49. And last but not least, XLRE, the real estate sector ETF, is up over 0.25% at 41.50. So the leaders for the sector so far today is XLK, y'all. And the laggard is XLV. All right, let's check out some of our other stocks that we like to check out on the show. AMD is up over 4%, y'all. Bitcoin actually hit 97,000 yesterday, y'all. It has pulled back. It's currently at 95,943, but it's definitely a lot higher than it was. IBIT is down almost 2% at 54.42. Ethereum is down to 3,337. BMNR is down 2.8. BMNR is down almost 3% at 31.73. Palantir is up almost 0.5% at 179.50. Robinhood is down almost 2% at 117.56. Grab is down 2%, over 2% at 4.53, y'all. XLG gapped up overnight. It's up over 0.5% at 59.30, y'all. All right, let's see. The next piece of news comes from Reuters Business. Brazil Central Bank liquidates REAG for a serious rule violation. Brazil's central bank ordered the liquidation of brokerage REAG, which is now CBSF, today, citing serious violations linked to fraudulent fund transfers from November of last year. The collapse of Banco Master. REAG's founder, I don't know how to say his first name, but his last name is Mansur, faces federal police scrutiny for alleged fraud at Banco Master, with the firm also implicated in a multi-billion-dollar money laundering scheme in Brazil's fuel sector. The action affects less than 0.001% of Brazil's total financial assets, signaling a contained risk, but highlighting ongoing regulatory efforts to combat organized crime in the financial system. All right, this next piece of news comes from Yahoo Finance. ASML becomes the third European company to surpass 500 billion in market cap. And now, if you compare that to the United States market cap, we already have several trillion-dollar companies. We actually have so many trillion-dollar companies that I was able to make this show, the Trillion Dollar Tickers Show, y'all. Shout out to the Trillion Dollar Tickers. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. All right, this next piece of news is about BM&R, Tom Lee and them. Here we go. Let me pull it up on the chart. It is down today, 2.5%. Let's check it out on the daily. Oh yeah, this thing been struggling. Been struggling since October, y'all. All right. So Tom Lee and BM&R just announced that they have invested $200 million into Mr. Beast Industries, y'all. They said Mr. Beast and Beast Industries, in our view, is the leading content creator of our generation, with a reach and engagement unmatched with Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Millennials. Beast Industry is the largest and most innovative creator-based platform in the world, and our corporate and personal values are strongly aligned. We are excited to welcome Tom Lee and BitMine as new investors in Beast Industries, joining our current top-tier venture investors, said Mr. Beast. Their support is a strong validation of our vision, strategy, and growth trajectory, and it provides additional capital to achieve our goal to become the most impactful entertainment brand in the world. We look forward to exploring ways to further collaborate and incorporate DeFi into our upcoming financial services platform. So Mr. Beast is about to create a financial services platform. I guess he figures since he has so many young people following what he does that he can create a platform. So he's going to be in direct competition with Robinhood, because a lot of the young people who probably deal with Robinhood, they probably follow Mr. Beast as well. So I thought that was an interesting collaboration. All right, this next piece of news comes from the Kobayashi letter. It is from Trump. Trump said, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in the once great state. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So this stems from Operation Metro Surge in December, where the Department of Homeland Security deployed thousands of agents to Minnesota, which escalated after an ICE officer fatally shot protester Renee Nicole Good on January 7th, sparking lawsuits and clashes, including a recent shovel attack on an agent. So, invoking the act, which was last used in 1992 for the LA riots, would allow military deployment to suppress unrest, heightening federal-state tensions amid disputes over the shooting's circumstances and broader deportation policies, y'all. All right. Let's check out the heat map. Check out the heat map, y'all. Let's see where money is moving into and money is moving out of. So NVIDIA, very green on the day. NVIDIA is up over 2.5%. AVGO up over 1.25%. Apple close to break even. Meta is down fractionally. Palantir is up 0.25%. Google is down over 0.5%. Microsoft is down over 0.25%. JP Morgan is up almost 1%. MasterCard, Bank of America are both down almost 0.25%. Morgan Stanley is up 3.25%, y'all. IBKR is up 3.9%, y'all. Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, TJ Maxx, they all up between 0.25% and 0.5%, y'all. Procter & Gamble is down 1.25%. Eli Lilly is down 3%, y'all. Caterpillar is up 1.5%. Lam Research is up 6.7%, y'all. AMAT is up 8.4%, y'all. Energy is all red today. The energy sector is all red. I don't see any gray or green in here. Energy is super red, y'all. Remember, that was the one that was green yesterday when tech was down. And it has flipped today, y'all. All right. This next piece of news comes also from the Kobayashi letter. The Arab governments believe U.S.-Iran tensions have de-escalated and U.S. talks with Iran are likely to continue. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, Oman, and Egypt were all reportedly involved in de-escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Recent escalation stemmed from U.S. warnings over Iran's protest crackdowns and threats of military strikes, with regional diplomats urging restraint to prevent oil market disruptions, per Al Jazeera analysis. This development signals potential stability in global energy prices, a key focus for accounts market commentary, amid ongoing G7 threats of sanctions if negotiations falter. All right, this next piece of news comes from Elon Musk. It says the largest lithium refinery in America is now operational, y'all. And that is Tesla's lithium refinery. Tesla's new lithium refinery in Texas, now the largest in the U.S., processes 50 gigawatt hours of battery-grade lithium annually from clay, reducing reliance on foreign imports like those from China and Chile. Announced in 2023 with an initial $1 billion investment, the facility represents Tesla's vertical integration strategy to secure domestic supply chains for electric vehicle batteries amid global demand surges. Operational status accelerates U.S. energy independence, potentially lowering EV costs by 10 to 20% through cheaper lithium while supporting jobs in the clean energy sector. Hey, cheaper EVs, get a Tesla for a discount. Let's go. What they need to bring back is that $700 that $7,500 rebate. That's what they need to bring back. That's what they need to bring back if they gonna bring it back, y'all. Alright, let's see if we have anything else on Twitter. Let me run these numbers before we do that. Okay. $1 trillion tickers, y'all. $1 trillion tickers. Alright, NVIDIA. It's almost 7 o'clock. We can put it on the 10-minute chart now. Alright, we can actually see if we got any trades. It's a very bullish day. Let's see if we got any trades. Any trade signals from our algo. So at the top left-hand corner, we got the 4-minute chart for the scalpers. And to the right, we got the 10-minute chart. Underneath the 4-minute chart, we got the 1-hour chart. And to the right of that, we got the 4-hour chart. So let's see if we have any new signals, y'all. No new signals on NVIDIA. The signals were pre-market, so it's too late for those. See if we have any new signals on Apple, y'all. Only a close from the previous buy signal. There's no new signal on Apple. Let's check out Google. While I say if there's any signal, let me go ahead and read these numbers as well. So NVIDIA is up over 2.5% at 188. Apple is barely over break even at 260.05. Google is down over 0.5% at 333.95. Okay, Google did give us a sell signal at 6:30, but that was 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, basically, almost. So it's too late to take that one. The entry was 335.52, and it is almost to TP1. So no new signal for Google. Microsoft barely over break even at 459.54. Let's see if we have any signal. Microsoft also gave us a signal at 6:30. The entry was 459.92. It was a sell signal, and the target is 455.59. So you're only about 57 cents away from the entry. But because most of the tech is green, I would not take this signal. It may turn around because of the great news from TSM, and that actually saved tech from another horrible day like yesterday. All right, let's see. Amazon had the same sell signal at 6:30. But we don't have anything more recent. I want a more recent signal to help the traders, y'all. Let's see if we have any. Taiwan Semi had a buy at 640 on the 4-minute chart, y'all. The entry was 345.32. It did just hit take profit of 347.97, which was a $2.50 move, y'all. Taiwan Semi did give a buy signal here on the 10-minute. It just happened. So the entry was 347.29, and the target is 350.91, y'all. So this is a fresh signal. So it's like 50 cents away from the entry, but if it pulls back, you can get into that. And the stop loss for this trade on the 10-minute is going to be 343.67. You know, TSM had that great news. They had that great earnings. So let's see if they continue to run up. But that's the most recent signal that I see, y'all. So I gave you the entry, I gave you the take profit number 1, and I gave you the stop loss for TSM. All right. AVGO. They had a sell signal on the 4 minute, but it looks like it's reversing right now. Based on how this algo works, if this candle closes above this stop loss, then that's going to turn this sell into a buy. So you just got to wait on that. But currently, there's no new signal. All right, let's check out Meta, y'all. Do we got any signal on Meta? Oh, by the way, TSM is currently 348.56. AVGO is currently 346.53. And Meta is currently 617.12, y'all. Okay, I don't see any recent signal on Meta. Let's check out Tesla, y'all. Tesla been ranging on the day. No signal on Tesla. Oh, we have a potential sell signal if Tesla continues to drop here. If it breaks under this low of the day, which is 440.39, then we got Tesla to the downside. You got about 1 minute before this candle closes and locks in this sell. It did just break that level, but if you want to go with this 4 minute signal, you will have to wait until this candle closes. On the 10-minute chart as well, it is printing a sell signal currently, but on the 10-minute chart, you do have to wait 6.5 minutes for this candle to close to make sure you don't get faked out. So that is Tesla, y'all. Let's wait 20 seconds to see if this sell signal stays. Let's see, 10 more seconds. The sell signal stayed, y'all. The sell signal printed, but it also printed this close notification signal. So be aware of that. But it did print. The entry is 440.79. The target is 439.41, and the stop loss is 442.16. So for the 10-minute signal, you do have to wait 5.5 more minutes. So that is what we saw for Tesla. All right, Berkshire. Do we have any signals? No new signals. I don't know if y'all trade the VIX, but I'll give you the VIX if there's a signal. I know some people be trading the VIX. Nothing new on the VIX. All right, let's check out SPY, y'all. SPY. No new signal on SPY. What about QQQ? Nope, no new signal on QQQ, y'all. If you trade futures, SPX, do we got any new signals? Nope, nothing new. And the NASDAQ 100, do we have any new signals? We do not. Oh, wait a minute. We got a sell signal on the NASDAQ 100. The entry was 25,708. The stop loss is 25,761. And the target is 25,655. So I don't know if I will actually take this though, because we are definitely bullish on the day. So this just may be a quick retrace before going back to the upside. So I don't know if I would take that. But I'm just reading what the algo says, y'all. All right. Wow, Intel, y'all. I just seen this on Twitter. Intel is up over 100% since Trump said we are investing in Intel, y'all, which was August. Dang. Man, oh man. Let me see. Are you sure about that, Twitter? Oh yeah. Look at that. What was that? In August, the low of August, after they missed earnings, Intel was at $19. And now it's at 48. Wow. More than double. Dang. Dang, man. That's because we didn't know. I mean, we knew that the government put some bread into there and saved NVIDIA and saved Intel, but we didn't know NVIDIA was going to put that investment as well. But yeah, next time Trump saves a company, I might have to get in that thing for a leap, y'all. For a leap. Dang. Shout out Intel for hitting all-time high. Is that all-time? I don't know if that's all-time high. Hold on. No, hell no, it ain't all-time high. All-time high, $69. Wow, look at this monthly chart, though. That thing been moving, man. That thing been moving. But sure, if it break this weekly resistance here, that thing might be continue to run up to 63. I got this monthly level right here. Yeah, buddy. Wants to break this resistance. Yeah, Intel looking very strong right now, y'all. Very strong. Alright, let's see if we got any other news here. Nah, there's hella ads on here. I ain't finna show that shit. Alright, let's check out if we got some motivation from Instagram, y'all. Do we got any motivation from Instagram? Oh yeah, Aristotle, check him out.
Stop you if you learn the stock market. The stock.
Hold on, let me turn that down. Excuse me. You know, some of this content on Twitter be held low, like the Reuters business and stuff. Here we go.
There's nothing a man can do to stop you if you learn the stock market. The stock market is the only thing that I know of that doesn't require other people to make money or marketing or ass kissing anything. That's why I love it, because it gives me a sense of, like, I made $5,000 today. If I know I can make $5,000 to $10,000 a day, there's no possible thing a man can tell me to do. If I know how to do that without talking to you, and then you can shut down my account and I can go trade from somebody else's account and just break them off, you can never stop me. There's nothing they can really tell me at this point once I figure this out. And now I'm like, okay, I want everybody to say, how does it hurt me to let other people say you too and get out of here? They gonna pay me to show them how. There's nothing a man can do to stop you if you learn the stock market.
Ooh. The stock market, once you learn this game, you are unstoppable, y'all. You are unstoppable. Even if they shut down your account, you can just go trade with somebody else and get them some bread for letting you do it. If you create a business, you know, people can just make up lies, give you bad reviews on Yelp. They could, I mean, if you got a brick and mortar, there's so many things that can be done to prevent you from making money. But when it comes to the stock market, you don't need anybody else. It's just you and the charts and your bread. So shout out to Aristotle for pointing that out, man. You're definitely a successful investor, man, and we need that. We need that information, y'all. We need it. All right. Oh yeah. Here goes Ashley Fox, y'all.
So look at of the stock market and investing, it's like, I'm not saying you have to invest in the stock market, but I can tell you right now, you can't save or work your way to wealth. And people have, I'm going to save money. Good. How has that gotten you? I'm going to work. Great. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I work in my company too. You cannot solely rely on that. And you can go start your business. I did that too. It took me a very long time to get to where I am. And it's not for everybody, but you can invest in somebody else's business. I'd rather make money off of Amazon continuing to become a multi-trillion-dollar business while I go build my company.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then what we gonna do? What we gonna do this year, y'all?
Said, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag.
Oh, the money signal messed it up. The money counter messed up the Instagram, man.
Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag.
Hold on.
Said, go get that bag.
Let me let it run one more time.
Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get
I didn't know the money counter couldn't play at the same time, y'all. I thought it would just play right underneath it. That's what I was trying to play while they were saying that. Oh yeah, I like this clip too.
It ain't all good, but it ain't all bad either. So be thankful. Be happy. Smile. Gonna be productive today.
We will be
So
productive today.
Be happy. Y'all gonna be productive today. So just be happy. Be thankful.
Shout out, young brother, right there. All right, that's about it, y'all. You know how we like to end the show? Neighborhood. Oh, this thing messed up, man. What the heck?
You get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work and appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work.
Let me run it back one more time,
showing
y'all.
up every day. It don't happen overnight, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work and appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
We're going to show up every day, y'all. We're going to get this money. We're going to do what we got to do. And we're going to run it up. I will see y'all tomorrow morning for the market open. We log on a little bit prior in the pre-market so we could get the mantra on to set the tone for the day, for the show. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. So if you are new to investing, or you know somebody that is, you can tell them to check out my YouTube channel and they can learn about the stock market. My YouTube channel is Matt Rich's 510 AI Music.
What exactly is the stock market?
I created
It is
this.
a digital marketplace connecting the world. It is the central place where businesses find investors and people buy and sell ownership. Think of it like a giant global farmers market. Instead of fruits and vegetables, companies like Apple or Amazon sell pieces of their business. Key takeaways. It's where buyers and sellers meet. Prices change based on supply and demand, and most trading happens instantly on your phone or computer.
So I answered 15 questions that every beginner has, starting with what is a stock market? What is a stock? So if you want to know, you can just check out my YouTube channel and go to videos, and it's one of the top videos up there. So it has a nice visuals and explanation for each one. Or if you are a podcast learner, then you can check out my podcast that I created. This is a podcast that I created to explain the same type of information. So check it out here. Oh, shit.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Here we go.
If
If you've ever tried to read a financial article or, listen to market commentary, it can feel like everyone's speaking a secret language.
It really can. The stock market, wealth building.
Yeah.
It's like a club with rules only the insiders know.
Exactly.
And I think that's why we're here, right? When we looked at the stack of sources you provided, the mission just became so clear. We have to translate that language.
Yes.
We need to establish the foundational mechanics of how the market works, and maybe even more importantly, explain why sitting on the sidelines just isn't an option anymore if you want to build real financial security.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I provided the sources that the person was talking about, and they just go back and forth and talk about, why you should invest in the market. And yeah, if you listen to podcasts, then you can check this out. Podcast style, if that's the type of learning that you do, you can check out both of them and see which one you thought was better. Anyway, that's it for today's show, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.